Okay, this is going to be a little bit of a growth tutorial. Try to cover everything so there's no real confusion. First off, I'm just going to use Fremar as kind of like a, you know, test. But just to look at it, I mean, you have fixed might, you can add any weapons to. But aptitude can only be maxed out at 10k, and it's worth whatever it says it is at the time that you add it. Like one aptitude down here, you just equatable to 85,300. So I mean, one aptitude will net you that. Be real selective on who you star up. That's the one thing I find a lot of people do is they just constantly misuse star up studs. I do the same. I did the same thing when I first started too. But pretty much, you're gonna when you're doing affinity and you're working on some person in specific. I mean, you want to focus on who you have. I mean, now from on Sally, I mean, 15,000. I mean, every time you level it up through the amulet, it nets you a couple 100,000. But I mean, it happens for each time you do it. And then having two different Hersers that you do it to, that's also going to be the benefit as well. See how I did it to both of them. You know what I mean? So instead of only one companion netting, 130 million or Drafina's 150, you have both of them. So then your max is going to give you 280 million just on affinity, which is insane. And he's not even fully started up yet. But the other thing you want to focus on is looking at your amulets for those specific ones. Now, I wouldn't, like for Sally and Drafina, I think you look at it, that's pretty much who you have it on, like these two. Not going to waste it on somebody like Meredith. It's an S. It makes no sense. So every time I do it, you want to put your aptitude might enhancement. That's the best one personally to put it on because it's only going to grow that aptitude might, the part that was like 85,000. So you're getting an extra 12% just on those two. So it adds up considerably over time. Now, I mean, you are going to find Hersers like Morton, for example. Taking a look at him. There's only one on luck, because those two, I have no idea where they come into play. I'm assuming there's going to be events for them at a later date and time. But another thing you want to do on Hersers is you want to be able to get their enhancement as high up as you possibly can. Because it's only going to give you might, it's going to give you additional aptitude. It's probably one of the most underrated parts of the game. The people just don't recognize. They think they unlock it. Cool. That's all I need to do. I mean, yeah, but it'll only limit what one Hersher's capable of power-wise. You know what I mean? So, looking at my list here, like, I'm not even worried about anybody past my top 6. Like, from Banky, Yvette, and Corey down, not even worried about them. Because looking at all of these, he's a plus 12. Zoe's almost maxed out herself. So it's kind of important. But I'm not even really wasting the time on Zoe right now just because we have a Vikings Herser collaboration coming out. And then adding 5 of them basically takes care of all of the other spots that I really wanted to take care of. 8 Hersers combined can only be used for Clash. You can't use 12, you can't use 16. It's only your top 8. So you're better off, honestly, just focusing on the ones that you know that you're going to be maxing out. The ones that you know are going to have, significant might and power and bonuses and all that other fun shit. But looking back, I'll even show all the companions and their amulets just so you could see what they look like. Like Gror, since she was the only one for Morton, odds are, and then if you're lucky enough to find something like Sacred Tree Grace, that shit is absolutely ridiculous. It's only going to benefit you in the long run. See, like Ethlin, the only Viking that I have released, from the previous set, is Floki. So it makes no sense to put it on Ragnar, Lagertha, Rollo, or whatever ones they plan on putting it on at that time. Same thing for Sally. Not wasting it on anybody else but him. Same thing with Canis. I'm not really worried about Veto too much, even though maybe at a later time it might be. But for the time being, better off just going absolutely apeshit on one specific person. Got lucky enough, I got Sacred Tree Grace on this guy. Go in. See, that aptitude might enhancement's absolutely huge. And then that's kind of like the end of, affinity and where it kind of plays into part. But every time you do upgrade that amulet, you are going to, at this point, I'll end up making about 800k just from doing that one time, even though it does take about 350 just to reach a level. And always make sure that you're trying to hit the store for your dailies, just so you can unlock as many slots as humanly possible, upgrading it, things of that nature. Like looking at the island store. These, every single day that I have the capability of doing it, I do it on these. Another thing I didn't really cover was when you are upgrading one of your companion's amulets. Once you get it to an aptitude might, like if you notice every single one of mine have aptitude might enhancement. The one thing I'll do when I'm upgrading these, I will always select this. This effect for Forging Stone is by far one of the most important things, because you can lose that bonus if you're just primarily going like, oh, you just want to do it on the one person, which I honestly won't do unless I'm looking for this specific bonus rune. So every time you do it, you wait for an upgrade, regardless if it's on that same Herser or not. I'll actually show you just in case. Looking at it, select that, and then you hit it. It'll give you one of the ones that are on the same one. Now, most times, what I will do is I will just select it, even though if it comes up as, a higher level and the bonus remains the same. Since the bonus level is the same and it's on a Herser I really don't care about, I will actually quit it just so you can get 25% of the points back so you could do it again. But me personally, I always save these for Might Rush. I usually never use them unless I am doing it for that. Like for any Might Rush, I will never, after an affinity, I'll never upgrade those. You're going to see on every single one of them, it's there. So I guess this kind of turned into a little bit of a Might Rush too. Notice she's still sitting at the 11,150 level, but obviously she's at 19,000. So the second a Might Rush starts, all you do is I go through the same thing every time. I will go through all of my companions, so from the previous Affinity Rush, tap that, rack up those points. It's easy points, and it's free stuff that you've never used it on. And that's why I honestly finish, usually I win Might Rush unless I'm playing some crazy son of a bitch like DSX or Trent that just buy everything. They'll just buy aptitude all day, every day, and they'll just keep on adding. So I honestly don't even have to spend on a Might Rush. It's legitimately free if you just plan ahead the right way. And I mean, I know some people, they won't participate in aptitude just because they think that, which is right. You could just add it over and over and over and over again, and that'll just give you the bonus there. But it's pretty important, and then somebody like Morton, for example, I know I can't do anything to him aptitude-wise. He's maxed out. So another thing I always do is I'll use my weapons just to give him a little bit of a bonus, because he can't grow any other way other than upgrading affinity. Can't add aptitude to him unless you're starring him up, and that's pretty much the basics of it. So like a Might Rush is, it's kind of key. But I mean, there's four couple things that you just want to always focus on. It's make sure when you're using affinity, you always want to use it on a Herser that you're working on. Like I'm consistently working on these top four from Argelin, Morton, and Floki. Zoe, a little bit, not too much. Gadir, a little bit, but not too much, because neither of them have been fully maxed out. And honestly, I'm trying to max out every Viking that comes up here pretty shortly. It's why I'm not spending on a damn thing other than that. But if there is any other questions, maybe there's something I didn't cover, if you guys think I might have missed, just let me know. But I figured this was a nice little way for people to actually visually see what it actually does for you. So, there you go.